Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ghost. Hope you're all having an amazing weekend. Just wanted to get on here, do some TA for the week. I know we had a prep session scheduled for this weekend. Had some stuff come up, so I did plan this call to be on recording. So I'm just gonna go over some setups I have for this week and also the economic events. So let's get started with the economic events here. We do have the unemployment claims coming up this week, which is going to be a key data on Thursday, as well as the non-farm payroll, right? So that's going to be some key data for us this week as well. We do have Joel's job opening on Tuesday. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's some key data for us. Any red folder news you see here is going to be some pretty significant data for us, right? On Monday, we don't have anything too important. We have factory orders month over month. That should not be important or market moving at all. So I think we are set for a clear day of data on Monday. Moving forward to the charts here, I'm going to pull up SPX here. A lot of you have been asking about SPY. You know, what's going on with SPY? We keep pushing up every single day. What's my opinion on SPY? So I'll just take a second to break down this SPX chart. You know, if you're following on SPY, it should be pretty much the same thing, right? So I'm on the bigger time frame here. I just wanted to zoom out and, you know, this is the daily what's going on right now. Every single day, we just keep seeing higher highs or almost every single day, right? But anyways, going on to the weekly, and even if you zoom out to the monthly, you can see that, you know, we're actually in a bullish market. You can see this huge falling wedge we have, right? Trend line. We broke over this and we've been continuing for the last several months, and we finally pulled back down to 4360 area, and we broke through that and we pushed down to the 4100. That's where we found some pretty decent support. That is dynamic major support on SPX. And you can see we did bounce out of there really aggressively, and you can see a strong break of this second bullish structure right here. So right now we are in a bullish breakout for the past 4 weeks, right? If you want to include this one, you could count that as your fifth week. But I'm gonna say over this trend line, we've spent 4 weeks. We have pushed up to the recent highs, 45.94, almost 4600 on SPX, right? And if you take a look at the daily here, we have a little rising wedge. It's not the cleanest rising wedge, but we also have some huge gaps to the downside. So SPX has a gap from 44.57 down to 44.21. And what I do believe is that these gaps need to be filled. If I look at the weekly, I am still in a bullish mindset, bullish bias. So I think this is going upside continuation. But I think there's going to be one final little pullback that's going to be coming down to fill up some of these imbalances we have here. And that's going to be our final pullback before we make a push up higher, is what I'm thinking for SPX, right? So SPX pulls back down to this 4400, 4450 area where we could find some support of this bullish breakout. And if we do see some bullish continuation, maybe some inverse head and shoulder setup, as you can see here, right? We have the left shoulder, we have that head, and we could be pulling back for that right shoulder. And if that does play out, we should be able to see new all-time highs on SPX. So that's going to be pushing all the way back up to this 4800 almost, right? 4800. And if we break that, that's going to be all-time highs for SPX. So that's my analysis on SPY, SPX, just kind of looking at what the market is doing here. I am looking at the bigger picture, so I am leaning on the bullish side, which is pretty easy to change my bias if we just give up these lows around here. I think that's going to be pretty bearish. But in the meantime, I will be looking at pullbacks on this SPX move. This is pretty extended. If you take a look at the daily EMAs as well, obviously anything over 70 is going to be overbought on the RSI for SPX, and you can see this bearish divergence just keeps building up as we keep pushing higher. And on the weekly, we do have some bearish divergence building at these two highs as well. So I am looking for a pullback on SPX. We could see a gap fill down to this 4430, 4450 area. And, that would be pretty ideal for SPX. It is very expected, right? The pullback is very expected. And I think that's why we keep seeing these higher highs. No one really knows exactly when that pullback is going to come. We might be seeing these higher high pushes and, just some sideways price action along these lines, which is typically what happens before the market rolls over. So that's it for SPX is what I'm watching for the upside or, the pullback, whatever it is. If you guys want to take this one day at a time is what I'm doing. Just taking it one day at a time, day trading this while keeping that bigger bullish structure in mind. So that's something that's been, keeping me from putting on aggressive size for downside, just kind of hoping that the market would pull back because, that's a very not safe way to trade here at these markets, right? At the highs, you just can't be expecting a pullback every single time the market makes a recent high, right? Nonetheless, this is some major resistance on SPX. So I do think that, one of these days we are going to be slowing down and pulling back to fill these gaps. And that kind of lines up with my plan. Enough on SPX. I'm going to move on to the weekly watch list for this week. I did take a look at some of the scanners from the Discord scanner. We do have a very slim result list this week, so not too many interesting stuff, which makes sense. A lot of things are pushing, a lot of things are breaking the range, so it's very hard to see any consolidated setups. I do have some that we're going to be looking at. I'm actually going to go over Rivn first. Rivn is a beautiful, beautiful breakout going on right now. So we are in the January 1920 strike calls. We've been in around the 16 spot price, and you can see this thing took a dip on Black Friday to 15 and a half, and you can see we're just pushing up ever since then. So this thing broke over 18, closed over 18. Beautiful look on Rivn. And if I look at the weekly right here, you can see this series of consolidation candles, right? We have a double outside, we have a double inside, and that's just a lot of consolidation, almost a month of consolidation going on right here. And Rivn has been just waiting to make its move. It's been, pulled back for several months now, and it's just been waiting to make its move off these lows, recent lows. And I think it's definitely time for Rivn to start pushing up from here. So if we do break 20, that's going to be my price target on those 20 strike calls for January. It's where I'm going to be looking to take off, most of my position. Already we're already having an amazing setup on Rivn, amazing technical analysis, which is playing out perfectly here. So even on the daily, we pushed back below the EMAs, and second candle failed to close, which is what I mentioned on Friday. Watch for that failure to close below. That should set up for a swing potential to upside again. And there it is, right? All the way back from 16.5 to 18. So beautiful stuff on Rivn. I think that weekly chart is definitely playing out perfectly, and we're going to be going actually over 20, right? Once 20 breaks, we're going to be pushing over to 22, 23. Once 22 and 23 breaks, that's going to be this wedge falling megaphone look too. That's going to be breaking, and we're going to be pushing all the way back up to 30 range. So beautiful analysis on Rivn. Some setups for this week is Lowe's. So Lowe's is it's a stock that's been kind of moving up here, consolidating around the EMAs. If you guys have been watching HD, a lot of people on the Discord have been all over this HD move. Avi has been mentioning this one as well. So beautiful stuff on HD. I do think that this Lowe's is kind of lagging that whole move here. So watch it this week. We got an EMA close above a candle close above the EMAs. And if it does break out this inside double weekly bar, which is very tight consolidation once again, almost half a month of consolidating in this price range, a little over actually half a month. So now we're finally going to break this 204 this week, and that should push really strong up to this 210 range. There's a lot of resistance on lows here, so be careful on this one. But I do think we could see a swift break at this range here, now that we're finally closing over the EMAs. It's been quite some time since lows saw over the EMAs on the weekly. So those are the two main setups I'm going to be watching this week. I have Tesla, but not too interested in it as now we have rejected the 250 level. That was my end of year price target, 250. We got to 250, and we're rejecting it pretty aggressively. We actually broke down from this pennant above this breakout right here, which was supposed to be a bullish pennant, and we actually swung some calls, which got wrecked by that Cybertruck data or Cybertruck news, etc. So I'm gonna just let Tesla do his thing here. It's at a really key zone between the 230 and the 240, or sorry, 230 and 220. It should be able to pick a direction. So if we start losing this 220, 230, we should be able to see a downside move, and finding any support and reclaim of this 230. Should be able to see a strong move above 250. So that's it for Tesla. I'm not too focused on it right now. Just kind of like SPY, just taking it one day at a time here, as kind of unclear which way it wants to go. I'm sure you've all heard people talking about Bitcoin this week. Beautiful breakout on the weekly. So I'm looking at the weekly falling wedge here, which I've had charted out for a long time now. But you can see this breakout just keeps continuing here, and we're finally at some major resistance on Bitcoin here. So dynamic resistance here around this 40,000 level on Bitcoin, which we just tapped this weekend. And I think we should be able to start seeing a pullback from here. I kept talking about this coin move as well. We had this breakout around the 75 level. We missed it. And ever since there, it hasn't gave us an entry at all, right? This thing keeps pushing higher and higher every single week. And now it's at 130 plus. So I think it's time for coin to pull back as well, as Bitcoin hits this dynamic resistance. And we should be able to pick up some nice positions on coin as soon as it pulls back down to the 100 area, breakout level. So that's it for this week. I just have a few tickers on watch. Like I said, the scanners are kind of, destroyed this week with that huge range we're having on SPY to the upside. And I'm really waiting for this pullback to see some of this price balance out. And I want to see some more quality setups that we can use for a swing. One setup I do like is Disney though. I know they've had some negative news recently with that whole X interview and stuff. But Disney does look really, really good. We're breaking out of this falling wedge, and we pushed over to almost 100 and now back retesting 92 key level. I think this is due for a push over 100, and if we do claim that 100, we should be able to see this thing, break this downtrend and move right back up. Right, 120 range should be an ideal target for 1 to 2 months out on Disney. The one I'm going to keep on watch. But nonetheless, that's all I have for this week. Again, really slim results on the scanner, and a lot of things are extended. So you could expect us to kind of take it easy. Just take a look at a few setups at a time here, and just look at what we got, some quality setups. Besides that, I don't think I see anything too crazy. But if you guys do see any good setups, let me know in the comments, and I'd love to take a look at them. That's it for this weekend prep. We have the economic data coming up that I've posted already, and we just have a few scanners, few tickers off the scanners that we're looking at, and let's try to have a good week. I know last week was a little tough with all that price action we've had, but we can definitely fit out a better week this week. So catch you guys on the Monday morning pre-market live. Drop the link to that in the description below as well. And yeah, hope you guys have a great, amazing weekend. Catch you guys tomorrow.